Hey guys, so we're wrapping up day 2 of the new Path of Exile League. So here's my video showcasing my progress, as well as giving tips and tricks on how we can transition a squishy self-caster into the hardest tiers of maps. So that's about where I am right now. We're entering the T14 maps, and this is a really big difficulty spike, and it can be demoralizing if you're playing a squishy off-meta build. So I'm going to go into how we can prepare ourselves for this transition to do it smoothly and seamlessly. So first of all, when we have pretty bad defenses, we have to make sure we don't have any gaping holes in them, which means, for example, I took the extra effort to get my chaos resistance positive. We have 36% chaos res. If you're a tankier on meta skill, you might be able to get away with having the chaos res in the negatives, but when we take poison damage and our chaos res is low, it's going to feel really bad and we might just die because of it. Also, we need to make our flasks cover our weaknesses. So for my life flask, it takes away bleeding and it takes away corrupted blood. And then for my enduring eternal mana flask, which is basically always up, I made it remove ignite because I found that ignite was killing me the most. It's a dot and it's just so annoying to deal with. So right away we have high chaos res and we have the removal of ignites. So that is going to solve a lot of issues for us. Now, the other flasks, well, the Quicksilver doesn't really provide much defense. The Granite, this actually increases our crit chance as on the rolls, but it does give us the 1500 armor, so this is defensive. And the Diamond Flask, again, this is just an offensive flask. But the main point is we're solving for ignite, we're solving for bleed, and then on our gear, we're solving for poison. Next up, I did shore up my defenses in terms of, now we're using Tempest Shield. I'm able to do this. I have Tempest Shield, Zealotry, Determination with an Enlightened 2. I bought an Enlightened 2 at the end of yesterday. How much are these going for right now? I don't even know. I paid less than an Exalt for it, and I leveled it myself to level 2. The Tempest Shield gives us a 24 chance to block spell damage, so now we just have a bit of spell block as well as the attack block from the shield. So that's just a little bit more defense. It also gives us immunity to shock. So now we have immunity to shock, we have immunity to ignite, and because we killed the Atoll boss and we had one of those, what are those called? Those divine vessels to capture him. Now we cannot be frozen either. So we're basically ailment immune without having to really have too much of a cost for it. So little things like this are what you have to do when you're playing a squishy self-caster. Now, let's go over my POB. So we ended day 1 with a total DPS of around 150,000. And now I have 470,000. So you can see we tripled our DPS over the past day. So let's talk about how we did that. A small bit of it was on the tree because now we're level 85, but a lot of it came from the gearing. So, well, the first change we did was we upgraded our 3 Chaos 5 link into a 6 link. So I paid 40 Chaos for the base, and I was searching specifically, again, for an armor energy shield hybrid, and I was actually looking for the specific types, and I chose Saints Hoberk. I don't know how you say that, because it has very high base armor and energy shield. So it'll be a little bit tankier than if I get a cheaper hybrid base. And I crafted this myself. I didn't spend too much on it. I just used a few essences of greed, which guarantee you a high life roll. So this has 111 life and about 1,000 armor. Now in our 6th link, we still have Spark, we still have Inspiration, we still have Spell Echo. Now all of these have gained levels because we did a lot of mapping. We took out increased critical strike support because we gained a lot of critical strike since we changed our weapon, which I'll talk about in a second. So now I have added lightning damage instead. So this is something you can do when your critical strike chance gets up to 100%. Then we still have the crit multi, and our last one is power charge on critical support. I'm actually not using pinpoint because we're mapping, and pinpoint is not very good for mapping, at least in my opinion. The next change is, well, we got lifesteal with a 1 chaos Doriani's invitation belt. We talked about that in the build guide. I'm quite happy with this belt. I'm still not going for the clusters, so this is just a good stopgap. In fact, I don't feel any urge to take this off, so I might keep using this for quite a few days. We spent around 30 chaos on a Call of the Brotherhood. We had to buy this to convert our lightning damage to cold damage in order to freeze enemies because we lost our old wand, which had the little bit of flat cold damage that was doing this before. So let's talk about my new weapon. I made a live search filter and I managed to snipe this off someone. I don't think he quite realized what he had, so I got it for a pretty good price. Let's look at the mods. It has T2 lightning damage to spells, T2 increased spell damage, and it has +1 to level of all lightning spell skill gems. And the +1 is really good for Spark. We can also get another +1 later on the shield. We can get up to +2 on the amulet, but I do not have those yet. Those are more expensive future upgrades. The suffixes are T1 crit multi. There's a dead suffix of very low lightning res and a very high critical strike chance for spells. T1 of that. So I'm really happy with this dagger, and this might just be my final dagger. I don't really see myself being able to upgrade from this. The final notable upgrade is the helmet. So yesterday I was using a 1 chaos 20% increased spark projectile speed helmet. So now we have the 30% version, and I got it on the high armor base. So what I did was I spent a little bit more effort into crafting this. We have a high life on here, and we went for an open prefix. You can craft projectiles pierced an additional target, so that's just a way to get an additional pierce. It costs a divine orb, and you get that craft through June Unveil. The rest of my gear, again, I had to look for some defensive stuff like chaos resistance. There's nothing else too notable yet. We'll probably be upgrading the amulet tomorrow because we can get a lot more damage on there. But for now, there's some life, there's some crit multi, and there's some cast speed. Now, we also allocated an anoint on the amulet. For Spark, on League Start, I recommend doing Fury Bolts. It's 2 green, 1 teal, so it's basically free. And this gives us projectile speed, which is nice, projectile damage, which is nice, and strength, which is also nice because we are trying to make both of these stats high for critical strike chance. All right, so I think that's most of what I wanted to talk about. This is going to be a big damage upgrade once you get another few levels, and then I can get another gem here. Eventually we're going to want to get the clusters, but they're just pretty expensive right now. And again, you can get a lot of good damage out of the tree, so I'm not in too much of a hurry to get that. Right, so I think the main point of this video is that even though I'm playing a really glass cannon, high offense build, I still have to be very cognizant of my weaknesses and try and solve them as best as I can. So I think we'll end this video going into a T14 map so you guys can see what that looks like on day 2 of the league. Alright, so we're going to this Boreal Chamber map. It looks pretty juiced up. Have a lot more damage, and my gems aren't yet level 20, so once I get hopefully a level 21 spark and some level 20 supports, the damage will actually go up quite a bit. But for day 2 on a spellcaster, we're at least able to kill stuff. Get better. Another defense I'm starting to transition into is all Molten Shell on a cast and damage taken length, but I just switched that a few maps ago, so it's not really leveled properly yet. That's my second Exalt of this league. I dropped a Void battery earlier today. Yeah, I sold for... So I've been getting some pretty nice drops. Alright, so there's the T14 map for today. That's going to wrap up this video. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow.